Right, sorry for that. Okay, so now this is going to be the second topic, yeah, for this semester. So it's about requirements engineering framework. Yeah, requirements engineering framework. So what we will be talking about, we will be discussing about the artifacts, yeah, the things that we produce during all the activities in the software requirement process, yeah. So when we have to produce them and what we have to produce, that is all that we will discuss today. All right. um, so first thing first, definition of RE framework. Yeah, framework. So framework is actually a guideline. Yeah, it's a huge model that can be used as a guideline. So when we talk about requirements engineering framework, yeah, we are talking about the advice, the way how we can do the process better. Yeah, how can we get advice on what we should produce and how we can get all the things that we need. Yeah, so RE framework is the thing that can give us guidelines. Yeah, so there are many different framework. Yeah, but I have tried some of them before, previous semesters, but I prefer to use my own framework. Yeah, I have my own framework. So meaning that I'll choose all the part that is very important for you to know, and will provide some of the information which not that important, but you still have to know, and apply them in your assignment. You have to apply them. Yeah, so let's see what are they. Okay, so basically this is my requirements engineering framework. So because I already decide, we will focus on the process, each of the activities, yeah, or stage, and then what are the things that we have to produce. So basically that are the things. Yeah. um so what artifact? Artifact may include all those things, what and when, yeah, which activity, and which mean when lah in the software requirement process, and then what is the artifacts, yeah, the outcomes. Okay, artifact definition first, of course. Yeah, so usually when we say artifacts, yeah, so people know that it's very related to history. True. Yeah, it's something that has been done in the past, so it exists, or someone found it during this recent years. So people say that, oh, this is the artifact of maybe 300 years ago, something like that, right? But in software engineering, we can also call all the things that we produce during the process as artifacts. Okay, so whenever I said artifacts, meaning that I'm referring to your masterpiece, your work, yeah, when you're doing your software requirement process. All right, so it can be in form of statements, it can be in form of text paragraph, it can be in form of table, anything that you produce. Yeah. So there are things that I ask you to do, so they are all artifacts. Yeah, and every single activities and every single level will produce something. Yeah, will produce something, and then from there it will become input for the next process or next activity. Okay, so we have many artifacts. Yeah. Okay, usually used as evidence to define capabilities, quality, and constraint. So these are the major requirements start. Yeah, if you still remember last week, we have done that. So all these artifacts will actually contribute, yeah, to the collection of requirements that we have. Yeah, so it's very important to do something to get that artifacts. Yeah. Okay, so basically you already know this, right? So for requirement process or requirements engineering process, so it's, you can use different name for that as well. So it's divided into four. The major activities is that are divided into four activities, which are elicitation, analysis and modeling, specification, and also validation. Yeah, and we also have another two process, or another two um, stages, which are the management, and also we have what, another one, a negotiation. Yeah, but negotiation is not a must. It only happen if there are conflicts. Yeah, and management is not part of this it's in the sequence activities, but management happens all the time from the beginning of the software requirement process until the end. So we are managing them. Yeah, when we are doing elicitation, we actually manage that elicitation. So we have some, we will get some advice on how we can manage that. As same as well, if you're doing your specification, your writing, yeah, the document of SRS, yes, you are managing the document that you produce. Yeah, you are managing the process of producing the document. So managing is a very general term, right? So it happen all the time. Okay, so these are the work product for each of the activities, yeah, or each stage in the software requirement process. So we have initial artifacts from elicitation. So as you can see, there are lists down there. So there are the things that you have to produce. So I can say that elicitation is the most tedious process. It's the most tedious activity for you, for everyone. Yeah. So if you can pass this, yeah, it's going to happen during assignment 1. You have to do it. So I wish you good luck. Yeah. You can do it. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's just a matter of perseverance. You have to be patient, yeah, because it will need lots of effort, need lots of time, yeah, to produce those artifacts in the elicitation. And then when you have done or completed your elicitation with sufficient requirements, then you can move on to the analysis and modeling. Yeah, and there is where you produce all the analysis models. Yeah, you do some analysis, then you can produce the tables, you can produce the statement, yeah, the description, etc, etc, and that is where you start doing the models. Yeah, so models you can say in form of tables, yeah, also in forms of diagram. So that's where you need to know about UML diagrams, and you need to produce some of them. Okay, so for this course we only concentrate on 3 UML diagrams, which are use case diagram, activity diagram, and also class diagram. But you will also have to focus on use case description. Yeah, so we have 4 things, yeah, big things in modeling. And then you, once you have all that completed, yeah, you have them, you can go to writing. So where you have to prepare, yeah, and follow all the format, yeah, follow the structure given, and then write them, describe them well, put in all the models that have produced, yeah, from analysis and modeling. Then after it's completed, then you can start validating. Yeah, validate document as well as validating the content. All right. Okay. So that's it. That is about software requirement process and the artifacts that you have to produce. Okay, so this is basically telling you what is the connection between each of these activities. Yeah, so what happened in the first, and second, and third. So you can read this on your own. Yeah, the explanation is quite detailed on the right hand side, so you can read it on. If you don't understand, just ask. Okay. All right. So basically, you are now actually entering the chapter 3. Topic 3, yeah, the requirements elicitation, because we are now going to discuss detail about elicitation, the first activity. So you have to listen carefully because these are the things that you have to do for your assignment 1. Okay. All right, so in elicitation, as we know just now, the outcome is called initial artifacts. Yeah, the things that you produce at the beginning. So there are some level, there are 2 levels in elicitation, and elicitation is also known as, it can be iterative. Yeah, whenever you found out that you didn't get enough sufficient information, then you can repeat, yeah, repeat the process, so that until you come to the end, it's not considered as end. Yeah, it's still maybe ongoing, but you may, whenever you say that okay, this is sufficient, then you can go on with the next activity, which is analysis and modeling. Yeah. So you need to know how far or how sufficient is considered as sufficient, yeah, information for elicitation. Okay. So let's go to point of activities and the example of artifacts that you have to produce during that activity. Okay, so the point of activity, I said elicitation. It has two levels. Yeah, basically it has two levels. The first level, you have to complete that one first, and then you have to do some analysis during that time. Yeah, just to make sure that you have enough information for business requirement, and to make sure that you are ready for the second level, which is elicit user requirement. So the first one is identifying the environment, yeah, knowing what are the domain, meaning that you know the scope of the application that you want to build. Okay, so that's what you need to do. The first level, yeah, divided into two levels. The first level you have to get the foundation information first. Yeah, so first and second level, they actually can use the same technique to get the information. But of course, the second technique will need more effort because it now means after you have got the foundation information, the elicit user requirements mean you are looking for all that sufficient major requirements types. So it means lots of effort needed. Okay, so um, that's where the tedious work is going to happen. Okay, so in the first level, elicit business requirement. So what you need to produce is visions, the goal, yeah. Vision is from the people who hire you, yeah. So meaning that they must have some vision. Why? What do they expect to get or to achieve? Maybe in 5 years or 10 years, yeah. So if they can tell you that, yeah. So maybe you can relate or they can help you to relate between why they need that app, why they need you to build that app for them, yeah. So and then you can get into goals, get goals from them, yeah, meaning that from the vision you see the big vision, right? So from there, what are the goals that they want to achieve when they are doing the uh, they use the application. So for example, yeah, let's say that their vision is to get international, yeah, so that they can be someone maybe at the top 10 in the international world, global, whatever, right? So maybe one of the goal, yeah, by using the app, they can send or sorry, they can promote themselves through the apps, yeah. So that is the vision. So that is the goal when they are using the vision, sorry, they're using the app. Okay, so how can they achieve the goal? What kind of promotion that you can put inside that app, yeah, that can help them to promote them at the global level, yeah, or international level. That is kind of example, yeah, maybe you can relate that. So goal is something that can be implemented inside the app, something that when they use the app, they can achieve their goals, basically like that. All right, and then domain. So domain is actually the context of the app to be built. So it's kind of the environment, yeah. Domain means the environment of the app. So who will be using it? So what kind of function is available? Basically, it's the general information, yeah. So basically, what is it about this app? What it can do? Just a general one, so that you can build the scope, yeah. So that you can focus on what the app should do. Okay, once you have that information, of course you don't know whether it's sufficient or not, yeah. So you have to do some analysis first, yeah, with that all information that you get from the client or the user, and from there you have to produce some of the artifacts or business requirement and see from there only you can say that okay, I got sufficient information for the first level, yeah, which is the elicit business requirement. I've done that and I have produced good artifacts for that, and I'm now confident to go to the next level. Okay, so when it comes to the next level, then you start with the grounded by the information you get previously. So you get more information because now you have to think about how can, what kind of requirements that are needed, all requirements that are needed for that app. Yeah, everything, all the functions, what are the capabilities, what are the things that the system can do, yeah, automatically, or what are the things that they are restrained from doing, something like that. Okay, so that's all about the elicitation. So this is where we can split it into small activities for each level. Yeah, so I've given you, for example, here when you're doing Elicit business requirements, so this is the advice. Yeah, so this is the framework for it. Yeah, so what you should do is you have to set your objective. When you are eliciting business requirement, you have to set your objective. Anything that you do, you have to set your objective. What are you going to do? Why do you want to do it? What do you want to achieve? Yeah, so you set the objective. Let's say that you want to get the vision, for example. Okay, so with that objective, you have to identify sources. So who can give you that information? So just write it down. Yeah, write it down. Okay, so who can give you information about vision? So from there, if there are more than 2, 3 people, maybe they have CEO, COO, CEO, then they have director general, apa? Sorry, director, board director, etc., etc. Kan? Let's see. So who should you go and see? Or is it just the manager is good enough? Yeah, so you have to analyze the stakeholder and see who can give you the best answer for it. Or do you have to see more than one person? So that's why you decide. Yeah, so once you have analyzed the stakeholders, yeah, so you don't go and get information from there yet. Yeah, from them, you have to plan first. How are you going to get information? Is it through interview? Is it through phone interview? Is it that you have to go face to face? Yeah, so that's what happened during plan techniques, etc. Okay, and once you have all the information of who should you meet, how are you going to ask them, what are the questions that you can ask them, what are the tools that you need to use, yeah, if it's a online interview, then what are the things that you need to prepare. Once you have all that, then only you can elicit the business requirement, the first level. Yeah, okay. So it sounds like it's a very structured step by step. Yeah, so you have to follow the step because you are from the science stream, right? So it's about structuring, it's about following a structured way of doing it. Yeah, so even it's just for eliciting the initial information, but you have to do it one by one, step by step. Yeah, so this is something that can be um, it's not easy for many people. I don't know why, yeah, for the students. So basically, from the past 5 years, I can see that student cannot follow a structured process very well. Yeah, they always jump to elicit. They're always eager to go and elicit. You have to plan well. Set your objective, plan well who you will meet, how can you ask them, what tools do you need, then only you elicit. Okay, so listen to this advice carefully. Yeah, and then after you have elicit them, you have to analyze them. Although you're not in the analysis and modeling yet, but within elicitation, you are actually do some analysis, do some modeling. It's small activities. Yeah, because we want to know whether we have all the sufficient information or not for the first level. Okay, once you are satisfied with them, yeah, then you can go to the second level, which is elicit user requirement. So again, it's a structured way. It's very similar, yeah, the way is similar, the steps are very similar. So the first thing, you have to set your objective. Yeah, so what kind of requirements that you want to go and get. Yeah, so what are the objective? um, you want to get the major requirements type this time. Okay, so identify sources. Well, who can give you information? Okay, so there are three, there are three requirement sources. So we have the stakeholders, remember, and we have the existing document, existing system. So there are all your sources. There are all your potential sources that you have to pick carefully. Which system can give you information? Maybe you don't know much about how people can order something online, for example. So you can go and try out some of the existing system, and then you can write it down and you can say, okay, I'm following this one. I can use this as my requirements. If you didn't get it from from the stakeholders, from the people, so you can learn that from existing system. Okay, same goes with existing document. If you are referring to some Google Play description, when you go to Google Play and you want to subscribe anything, there are lots of application there. So usually they will provide some description, right? And they will tell you that what are the functions available in the app, right? So you can actually use that as your source of information. Okay, all right. So, but when it comes to people, then you have to be more careful. Because we are dealing with humans, so you have to analyze who are the people that you need to go and see. Remember the stakeholders that we already discussed last week. So then you have to plan the technique. How should you get, how can you get the information from them the best way? The best way to get information, so you have to plan them all. So you will learn all the techniques in this course. You will get some ideas on how you can do that, but most people didn't want to do it. They didn't want to follow the advice. They don't want to follow the good techniques, so they just want to do it their way. So that will affect the marks for your coursework. So be careful. So because I want to see you are doing things structuredly. You're doing well step by step. Follow the flow. So by you doing that, hopefully you will get a good outcome. A good artifacts at the end. So that will help you, definitely will help you to create a good quality apps. So at the end of Elicit user requirements, at the end only you go and Elicit. Like I said, set objective, plan, choose here wisely there. Then only at the end you can go and Elicit. Okay, so at this stage you will get lots of information. You get everything that you want to know, most of them. Hopefully with a good technique you get everything, sufficient information. And then from there you can go to the analysis and modeling. All right, so these are the details you can read on these are the things that I have explained just now. Okay, all right, so these are the example for the first level. Vision and goal. Okay, so this is a good example. So let's say the vision of the company is to have a car with a high efficiency. Okay, so this is the client company. They're asking you to build the requirement for an app. So they said their vision, their company vision is to have a car with high efficiency. So the goal, that you can apply inside the app, for example, this is going to be a navigator for the car. So some of the goal, because they want to create a car with high efficiency, meaning that if you are the one that producing the navigation system, then you need to consider all the goals inside your navigation system. So let's say the goal from the company is you have to make sure that because you want to have a car with high efficiency, so whenever people put in the entry of destination, inside their navigation system, it has to be very easy for them, for the user. Okay, so why? Because if you produce an app, for purposely for a car that has high efficiency, but suddenly the entry, whenever they want to enter the destination, it was really hard. It was very tricky. It's not straightforward. The user really hates that. So how can you produce a car with high efficiency? Okay, so make sure the goal can be achieved, then only that will support the efficient. Yeah, so there are many others. Yeah, so the goals like how to avoid traffic jam. Yeah, whenever the application, the navigator recommend some of the route can, so they're supposed to give route that you can avoid the traffic jam, etc, etc. So that are the kind that you have to implement inside your application. All right. Okay, so these are examples of domain statement. So domain statement is not an official model from any requirements engineering board. Yeah, it's actually something created by me. Yeah, so I created this so that it can help you to get focused on what you should do. Yeah, so that you don't go anywhere else. Yeah, you can focus on that scope only. Yeah, so basically it's a statement where you have to mention the domain of the app. Is it a mobile app? Is it a online learning system, or is it a anything, yeah. So you have to mention what type of domain it will be. So as you can see in the example here, like the first part, the very first part are actually the name of your application to be built. Yeah, so like SGPSW123, I don't know who will give name something like that, so it's a very bad name. Okay, SGPSW123 is the name of the app. Okay, so what it is a car navigation system. Okay, so what it can do, so the scope is the some of the function, the main function, yeah, that the system can do is to allow a car driver to enter destination easily. It can help avoid traffic jam, it can navigate automatically, etc, etc. Okay, so what kind of technology will involve? So the main thing is GPS technology, and also they will use the built-in screen, yeah, on the dashboard of the car. All right, so that is a good statement when you are presenting your idea to anybody. That is the statement that we want to look for. Yeah, it's a complete one statement, one single sentence. Yeah, people will understand what your app is about. Okay, so let's go to the second example. Yeah, the bungkus ABC. Bungkus mean tapau. Tapau ABC is a mobile app that allow an ABC buyer to order ABC delivery. So what is ABC? Yeah, I guess there are some international here, right? Do you know ABC? What is ABC? It's a delicacies, yeah. Some dessert, yeah, made from ice and syrup, yeah. So this ABC, okay, it's a system of how we can actually order the ABC and ask that seller to deliver the ABC to our house, yeah. Okay, so basically it allow buyer to order delivery and make online payment. So that are the main function, and there are also other stakeholders or other people who can use the system, which is ABC seller, where the ABC seller, the main function for them is to receive the order, receive payment, and also send delivery request to the delivery person. Okay, and ABC delivery person is the third category of user. So when this delivery person use the app, they can receive and accept the request of delivering, and there are also admin. Yeah, admin also needed. So the technology that is involved, yeah, are database, internet, and also mobile phone. Yeah, so that is the kind of statement that you have to produce for your app to be built. Okay, domain statement. So I'll give you a template later, yeah, for this domain statement. So you have to work on this, but wait, don't do it now. You have to set the objective first. So do it one by one. Yeah. Okay. Just wait for my instruction. Okay, and then this is part of the domain requirement as well. Yeah, domain artifacts. So we have context diagram. I believe that you have learned context diagram in principal software engineering. Ya ke? Is it? Pernah belajar context diagram? Pernah? Tak pernah?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so this context diagram is a very simple one. So it's basically showing the app or the system and the people that interact with the system. That's it. That's it. Yeah, it's just a simple diagram because this is at the beginning of the process. Yeah, the initial diagram that you can produce before you will produce more and more detailed diagrams. Yeah, so this is basically something that's very simple. So these are the two examples. This is from the SGP S123 and this one is for the bungkus ABC. So as you can see, for bungkus ABC, the user are more than one. The users are more than one. Yeah, you don't say that, oh, bungkus ABC user, and you are talking only about the buyer. That is not correct. Okay, so you have to identify who are the people that will be using the function inside the app. So you have many different functions in them. They are not only for buyer. Yeah, some of them are for seller and some of them are for the delivery person. So they are all the users. So you cannot say A, B, C user and you said this is just about buyer. Cannot. Okay, so you have to be very careful with context diagram. Very simple, but someone might misunderstood. Yeah. Okay, so self-exercise. So you can do it on your own, but let me explain a bit about this. Let's imagine, this is part A, let's imagine that you are the Fat Cat Cafe owner. Answer this question, write them down on paper. So this is going to help you to understand what is vision, what are the things that you can ask. So basically, now in part A, you are the owner, meaning that there are some other people that asking you, other people that become the requirement engineer asking you as the owner of the Fat Cat Cafe. Fat Cat Cafe is just the name of cafe. Yeah. So whenever you can answer this question, because you have something, some app in your mind. So when people ask you, yeah, these questions, you can actually answer them because owner is the stakeholders. If they hire you to do the app, they have some idea in their mind, in their head. So you have to get information from their head. Yeah, you have to get information from them. Okay, so these are the example of question that can be asked to a stakeholder that actually maybe they hire you or they have that idea. Yeah, the one that has the main idea. So these are questions to be asked for the people that can give you a very strong answer about vision, scope, etc, etc. So usually they are the owner or the people who hire you to do the app. Okay, so take note with the question because these are the questions that you can use during your first level of software requirements elicitation process. Yeah, when you're finding the business requirement, these are the questions that you can use. All right, so take note of this question. Okay, and then when it comes to part B, let's say that you have completed this question. You just try it out and you become the owner, you try and give the answer. So, because you have the idea. So, now in part B, yeah, given that the answers from the owner, which is you, now you become the requirements engineer. So, you change your position now. Okay, so you change the role as a requirement engineer. With all that answer, try write down the vision properly on paper. You got the information from the owner, right, just now, which is also you. But you now become the requirements engineer. Try to write down the vision properly on paper. What is actually the vision of the owner, of that owner, the information that you get. And also write down the goal, write down the domain statement, and try to draw the context diagram based on the information that you get from part A. Okay, if you have you can meet your friend here, you can be together, maybe you can practice this with your friend. Okay, usually when if you have face-to-face classes, then I will ask you to do it with your friend together so that you got the idea how can you ask the question to a stakeholder, and whenever you get that answer, how can you write down. It's a good practice. Yeah, it's a good practice, so it's something that you should do. That's why I said self-exercise. Do it, yeah, on your own. Okay, it's a good self-exercise, so please do that, yeah. Okay, so these are the activities artifact for the second stage, so second level. So I've already mentioned it. I already give you objective there, yeah. Set objective, I give you objective there already. So you don't have to think about objective anymore. Okay, so take that objective. So the objective is to obtain user requirements data. Yeah, the major requirements type. Yeah. So FBS CQ, what does that mean? FBS CQ, can you see that? Here. Can you see FBS CQ? What does that mean? Usually I provide these notes to students. No one asking me. And I assume that people know. But at the end, actually they don't know. But they didn't ask me. So who know? What does that mean? FBS CQ. Come on, use the chat function. Hmm? FBS CQ, go on.
What was the question?
Sorry? Come again?
I did not get you the question. Can you repeat it once again?
What does FBSCQ means? If you can see the acronym here, yeah, above the set objective, I mentioned that FBSCQ. What does that mean? Come on. Anyone? You got the right answer, you get bonus mark for that. Tak ada, tak tahu. Do you know or not? Pelaburan? Pelaburan apa pula? Do you mean stakeholder? Stakeholder bukan pelaburan ya. Minggu lepas saya dah bagi tahu. Stakeholder is not stocks. It's not about stocks. Stakeholder are people that has interest with your project. Sekejap, ada orang tekan dekat chat. Ya. Tak ada. Lagi. You're not doing any investing tau ya. You don't mention anything about investing or stocks ya. Investment. Okay, lagi. Cepatlah, cubalah. Tak tahu. Tak boleh nak relate. What are the things you actually learn last week? I provide the video, but not many people watched the video back, yeah, last week. So it's actually, the answer is actually inside that video, one of the video. I split it into 3 videos, right? So there's one of the video that has that answer. Come on, FBS, CQ. Constraint and quality. Okay, good, Syed. So CQ is the constraint and the quality. What else? What is FBS? Very good, Farid. Functional, behavioral, and structural. They are all the major types of requirements. Baru minggu lepas sentuh dah, tak tahu dah. FBS, CQ. FBS is the capabilities. CQ is the constraint and quality. Okay, very good. Syed and Faid. Yeah. Okay. So once you have set the objective, then the same activities is going on. Yeah. So the same thing that I have just mentioned. Yeah. So you have stakeholders, you find all other sources. So that process, that activity is quite tedious. I can see it's very tedious. Yeah. People really hate it when I urge them to do that in the assignment last semester. They really feel, it's really hard. It's not really hard actually, but they need to put a lot of effort there. Yeah. So the same thing will happen to you. So wait for it. Yeah. Okay. Etc. Until you have elicit them. So let's see in the second level. Yeah, the artifacts for elicitation. On the second level, these are the examples. This is a good example. Yeah, this is an interview, yeah, by one of your seniors in late 2016. Yeah, uh, actually Rani is the one who got the best project at the time. Yeah, project FYP, and also get the best poster, yeah, at that time. So she actually got all the award, yeah, for the FYP exhibition. So Rani, in this interview, this is actually when she tried to understand what are the problems with the current existing system, yeah, when it comes to blood donation. Yeah, how can the hospital um, get people to donate blood? Yeah, so there are problems where the hospital cannot reach all the donors. So uh, Rani comes with an idea where we can actually put some app. We can actually build some app and connect the app with students portal, Oopsie students portal. Okay, and from there people from the hospital can contact the donor directly. Yeah, so the donors are among UPSI student lah. Okay, so it's a very good idea. So this is the part of interview where he get to that problem. Yeah, she tried to understand the problem. So these are the questions that she used. She tried to understand the problem. Okay, so these are the things that you need to do. Yeah, you're trying to find the information. So problem is actually part of it, because when it comes to analysis and modeling, you will actually produce or suggest some solution for the problem. So problem need to be identified during the first elicitation, during the business requirements elicitation process, because from there only you can get lots of idea, and you can identify what kind of function should you put inside the app so it can help resolve that problem. Okay, so this is one of the good interview. And whenever you do any interview, you have to transcribe them. Transcribe mean, because interview usually in form of audio, right? So you have to transcribe them in text. Why? Because during analysis, you have to go through word by word, searching for the functions, verb and noun inside the text. Okay, so that's why you need to have it transcribed in form of text. All right, got that? So these are the things that you need to do if you are doing the interview. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, so this are example of user stories. So this is a good technique to get the function straight away from the user without people have to say lots of things. Okay, it means like you ask them straight away, what are the functions that you need. So ask them to write on the post-it note paper, right? So they can just write them down right away. So these are the example where you can ask people to write for you. What do they expect? What are the quality they expect? What do you want to do with this app? What do you expect this app can help you to achieve which task? So you can ask them directly and ask them to write on paper. So this is one of the technique. Other than interview, you can also do user stories. Okay, so usually people, if they are using agile, yeah, agile technique or agile model, because they're working really really fast. So user stories, they really like user stories. They don't like interview. They hate interviews because interviews involve lots of text, lots of sentences, lots of stories. So you have to do the analysis in very detail when you are doing interview. It can be hard. I personally don't like interview much. I really like user stories. So it depends on you how you're going to do it. Okay? I give you freedom to choose, but you have to choose. Okay? These are the example of scenarios. So scenarios is something that you have to produce. Um, but you have to do some analysis first. Yeah. So the information might come from the interview. It might come from existing system. Yeah, where you try the system and then you write down what are the steps. When you're using the login function, for example. So number one, the system will display the login form, and then what happened is user have to key in their ID, the password, and then click on the login button, something like that. Okay, so you have to know, you have to get information about the step by step. So scenarios is actually describing the step by step when some people is using some function. Okay, all right, just like the example that I give just now, login, right? So the function is login. So number one, what should the system do, or what should the user do? Number two, what happened next? Number three, what happened? So these are what we call scenario. Okay, so this one, the example that you see right now, is the main success scenario. There are many different type of scenario. So we can say that these two is the main success scenario. Main success scenario is a scenario that telling that all the step that actually produce that have no problems, that can help user to achieve their objective. For example, login. So when it comes to the end of the steps, they actually can log in. They manage to log in successfully. So that's why we call the step for main success, meaning successfully do that function. Okay, so there are example 1 and 2 right now. So there are differences. So what are the differences? There are number 2, where the navigation system only asks driver to enter address, meaning that the driver has to type in. Okay, and then for in the example 2, for the second step, the system asks the driver to choose. Either they want to enter the address by typing in, or they can also select a destination on the map. From the map, they just click on that, yeah, or touch on it, and then, or they can also select destination from an address book. So between this example 1 and example 2, which one did you prefer? Which one that you like better? Number 2 or number 1? Example 1, example 2. Why? Because you have more option, right? So usually user like that. They like better because different people like different ways. Some people just like typing in everything. Yeah. Some people just like, they don't have much time. They just want to click and they get what they want. Yeah. So number 2, example 2 is a good solution. Yeah, it's telling a good step for the an option for the user to achieve when they want to achieve the objective of entering the destination. Okay, got that? Okay, so between these two, maybe yeah, it's not both the solution. Maybe the first example is telling the current state scenario. Okay, so meaning that the scenario can actually be divided into two. One is telling what happened, what are the steps with the existing system. And the other one is the thing that is hoped by the user for the new app. Yeah, for the app to be built. That are the things that they want, but still not achievable. The existing system cannot do that yet. So they want it to be like this. So maybe, yeah, the first example is actually the current state. It telling what happened now. And then example 2 is actually telling what are the things that they can improve in the app. Okay, so these two examples are correct. These are all correct. Okay, one is to understand what are the things happen in the current system, how you can use that function in the current system. The second one is what are the things that you can propose to improve the steps. Okay, the other functions. All right. So there are also other name for scenario other than main success. Yeah, you can also have non-success scenario, meaning that you are telling the scenario where it doesn't work. For example, when they try to enter the address cannot be found. Okay, so we can say that at the end it's non-success because they tried to use to get to some destination. They tried to enter, but they didn't get to enter the address. Yeah. For example, maybe one of the keypad is broken, for example. So that is one of the non-success. You can also have alternative scenarios. Like, for example, one scenario is telling how to enter using text. You can have one scenario specifically telling answer how you can touch one location on the map to enter the destination, and you can also use a scenario to tell another way of entering the destination. So all these three can be alternative also. So it depends on how you write them. In the example 2 just now, we combine all them, right? You can also separate them into 3 scenario. Also can. So that we call it alternative scenario. Okay? And then we have also exception scenario. So exception scenario is like a troubleshooting. Yeah, it's like a step to troubleshoot something when it's not successful. Yeah, is there any way how you can actually troubleshoot that problem? For example, if you try to get to that website and you okay, what example we can give? Exception. Okay, let's say that you enter a destination, but the address is not found. Yeah. So what is the exception? What should the user do when they get that? So what you can do, what you can say inside the step is maybe you can suggest them to re-enter the address, for example. Yeah. So you give them solution to settle that problem. So that's what we call exception scenarios. So all these scenarios is going to be important when you write your use case description. This is something that you have to produce for each function that you propose inside your app. Okay, and you have to detail them in the use case description. So we will get back to this scenario when we're doing the use case description. Yeah. Okay. So this is ways of writing scenarios. There are many ways. In this slide, it's shown 3 ways. Yeah, one is by using narrative way. So it's like an essay, short essay, but you have to use a simple sentence in it. Yeah, so that is narrative. It's like telling stories. Yeah, and then you can have structured text. This is the same like the example just now, where you can split into steps. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and you number them. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. And as you can see, the step does not only involve the user, they also involve the system as well. Like bank customer insert card, that is the user part. And we can also have ATM returns card, meaning we are talking about the ATM, the steps that it has been done by the ATM, the machine. Okay, so that how you can write the structured text. And also you can have the 2-column table below there. Yeah, where you split the column in the table into 2 columns. One is for the user and one is for the app or the system. Yeah, so just write the step for that customer or the user at it has to be in sequence. Yeah, for example, number 1, number 2, number 3 is about the bank customer, but when it comes to step 4, it is actually done by the machine or the system. So the step 4 must be written under column ATM. Okay, so this is something that this is option. Yeah, it's an alternative to the structured text 1, 2, 3 above. You can also use the table. So it's up to you. Yeah, you can choose which one. But either way, you have to do it. Alright, so this is a practice, a simple one. Do you want to try it out? Maybe you can pick one function. This is to try the scenario, practice on scenario, yeah? Let's say that if you want to order, a user want to order the ABC delivery, yeah? So what are the steps? Number 1. What is the number 1 step? Step 1. Function is to order ABC delivery. What is the step 1? For the precondition, let's say that the user has downloaded, the buyer has downloaded the app into their phone. Okay, that is the precondition. It's not part of the step. The precondition, the buyer has already downloaded inside the mobile phone, and they actually has already entered the app. Yeah, maybe they have logged in already. So let's take one of the function, which is order ABC. So now the user wants to use the app to order the ABC. So what is the first step? Number 1. Cepat, siapa boleh bagi? Bonus mark, come on. Number 1, step 1. What things will happen? Suddenly buyer choose the menu. Didn't the system has to display the menu first? Let's say this is just one ABC owner kan, one stall. The app is customized, it's actually for that stall only. Okay, so buyer has opened up the system. Number 1, what happened? Before buyer choose the menu, you don't suddenly choose the menu. Number 1, what is number 1? What do you think? Come on. ABC seller, we're talking about ABC buyer, Rifo. ABC buyer try to buy or order the ABC delivery now. Okay, the buyer has already downloaded the app into their phone and they want to use it. He's already signed in, they already logged in. Choose the option display. So what come first? Before they can choose, display what? Kamalashwari, right, completely. The system display the menu. Yeah, very good, 5A. Number 1, don't forget to number it. Yeah, number 1. The bungkus ABC display the menu. Full stop. Okay, that's how you write it. Number 1, bungkus ABC display the menu. Full stop. Okay, number 2. Come on. What happened next? The menu is displayed now. So number 2, buyer choose menu. Full stop. Buyer choose one menu. Full stop. Okay, good. Siapa yang tulis ni? Nura Atira. Okay. Buyer choose menu. Number 3. Make payment terus. Dia boleh beli satu je lah ya. Buyer input quantity of menu. Okay, let's say ABC dia memang satu menu je. There's only one menu. Okay. So buyer input quantity of menu. Okay. So 1, buyer choose menu. So what will happen? So what the system will display? Maybe they will ask the user to input the quantity of menu first. Is it? Or is it at the same page? The user got to choose the menu. Okay, they have to tick the menu, or they don't have any option. So buyer choose menu and buyer input quantity of menu. Okay, so it's actually possible, yeah, reasonable. Okay, number 3, buyer input quantity. Okay, and then what happened? Buyer check out. Check out is a huge function. So let's put it in steps, yeah. Buyer confirm order, but did the system ask the buyer first? Huh? You kena ingat macam you tengah guna. You have to imagine that you are using the app. And it has to be step by step. Single step. Precise step. Okay? It's not just like, oh, you can do that, you can do... No. What did you see on the app? What do you think you see on the app? After the user put in the quantity, what you see on the screen? What do you think? I think who mentioned confirm order just now? Did you? Tak ada. Okay, Noratira again. Okay, buyer confirm order. So before buyer confirm order, what happened on the screen? You can say that the system is not that friendly because buyer has to do everything on its own, on her own. Yeah. So buyer pick menu, and then buyer put in quantity, and then buyer confirm, and then buyer do everything on its own, on her own. Kan? So anything done by the system in between the steps after buyer key in the quantity, what happened? Ni apa choose for bandar pula ni? Buyer add extra menu. Just now we said that they only have one menu ABC, one type ABC. System display. Okay, system asks user to confirm order. Okay, hati-hati ayat dia. So number berapa dah? Number 4. System asks user to confirm order. So number 5 baru kita kata buyer confirm order ataupun buyer click confirm button. Okay? And then what happened next? What buyer see after that? System asks buyer, they already signed in. They know the location of the buyer. System display receipt for payment. Make payment. Make payment is another function. Okay? Make payment is a huge function. So we can split that into another function. Okay? Basically, that's what happened. Okay? So after the buyer has confirmed, then what the buyer can see on the screen is what they cannot see is the order has been sent to the apa to the owner of the ABC, the seller, right? Okay, and then on the screen what you can say is that the order has been sent. Okay, the system display order has been sent. All right. So did the buyer has achieved her or his objective of using that function, because the objective is for her or him to order ABC delivery, to order ABC lah katakan, to order ABC. So at the end of the step, there are something displayed on the screen, which is the system display order has been sent titik kan, full stop. So which means that the function is completed, okay, for the user, because the objective that him or her want to achieve is to order the delivery. So whenever the system display the order has been sent, meaning that he has successfully ordered the ABC. Okay, dapat tak? Okay, try write it down, yeah, in your notes, because you will be doing that again and again. Yeah, we'll be learning things like this. Yeah, you have to know how to write a good steps. Yeah, for each of the functions to actually avoid that you combine all the function into one function. So you have to avoid that. So these are the things that you have to learn. Yeah, that will be in other classes, not today. Okay, so I hope you got the idea. Yeah, I hope you got the idea about how to write the steps. Yeah, the scenario. Okay, self-exercise again. Imagine that you are still the requirement engineering position right now. Okay, so how can you get further detail? This is something they're asking you, how are you going to do that elicitation process? So how can you get further detail? So these are the things that should be inside your mind, yeah, when you are learning about elicitation, yeah. So how can actually you get the information? How can you get the details, yeah? So things that you learn are actually helping you to answer those questions, yeah. All right, so this is for your own self-learning Kano model. So Kano model is a very good model. It's not for requirement engineering per se. It's from marketing or something, yeah, product service development theory. So this is not about requirement engineering per se, but the good thing is it actually about requirements. It's actually about what the user want. So sometimes there are times where the user really want it, but they didn't say it. So this model will help you to identify what are the things that they want but they didn't mention, or they think that you already know so they didn't mention. When you ask them, they didn't say it, so you didn't get it and you didn't put it inside the requirement, so you missed it. So it's going to be a huge consequences. So Kano model is a good way to help you, to assist you to identify what kind of requirements where they won't say it, yeah, verbally. If you didn't ask them, they won't say it. Or if you ask them, they didn't say it because they thought that you know already. So use kind of model, understand the model, and if there are things that people won't say it by themselves, you have to know how to ask them so that they can actually provide you with the answers. Yeah. So at the end, you get the sufficient requirements. All right. That's it. 1 hour, 5 minutes. Okay, so do you have any question? We are into elicitation now. I hope that you already form your group. There are 5 members in one team, yeah. And I was already provide you the team project, which is hobby, right? It's about hobby. So hopefully you already have some ideas, yeah, about what you're going to do. But like I said, it's not going to be, it's not your own hobby, yeah? It's not your own hobby, so you have to find some hobbies, some popular hobbies, and maybe you can come up with an app for that hobby, and that idea will come from your stakeholders, yeah, not from you. It's from your stakeholders because it's their hobby, so they know better what they need for to support their hobby. Okay, so by this week, by this Sunday, I want you to register the team members for your group, 5 people only in one group. Okay, and name the hobby that you want to focus on. Just name the hobby. Okay, all right. Maybe cycling, maybe reading, maybe gardening. I don't know. You can choose any of them. But make sure if you can, because there are only around five groups in your class. So make sure that it's not redundant with any other groups. Yeah, choose a hobby that no one has chosen by any other group. Okay. All right. So that's it for this week. So remember this Sunday through WhatsApp. Yeah. Register the name of your 5 members and the hobby that you pick. You can do it by today. Yeah, you can do it by today. But deadline by Sunday. Okay. So next week we will set up the group in the Google Classroom and we will start our assignment 1. Okay, so that's it. Thank you. Jap, saya nak ambil attendance. Don't leave yet. Okay. Okay, so I got your attendance ready. So that's it. Okay, bye-bye. Assalamualaikum. Okay, welcome.
Thank you,
Alright,
Doctor. Have a
thank
very good
you.
day. Yes, sir.